Shankar, a leadership coach, a trainer, a facilitator, and an organization consultant for over 18 years now. In the last 18 years of working with different leaders at different levels, from CEOs and managing directors, business unit heads, to first-time leaders and team managers, I've realized that there is one key question each leader needs to ask himself. What is it that I want from my people? Do I want compliance, where people are forced to do what I tell them to do, even though they might not believe in it? Or do I want commitment, where people feel enthused and energized and motivated and believe in whatever we are doing or whatever we decide to work together towards, right? I'm sure all of us would understand that if I want ownership and accountability in my organization, which of these is going to get ownership and accountability and which one is not? What happens when we enforce compliance? Well, when we enforce compliance and we force people to do what we as leaders feel they should do, well, then they lack ownership and accountability. They tend to play the blame game when something goes wrong. And the monkey is always on the leader's shoulder. So if you want your team to work together, to work collaboratively and work effectively, well then what we need commitment. We need the team to be committed towards whatever points which we want to drive, or whatever decisions which are taken in the organization, or whatever goals we want to drive and achieve. So if I want to do that, what is it that I need to do as a leader? Well, one of the first and most important key things which a leader needs to do if he wants to drive commitment, ownership and accountability, well, the first thing is he needs to learn to influence without using his authority. It's very easy to tell people what they need to do, and if they don't listen, use your authority and say, well, I'm the boss, you need to listen to me. I'm sure you might have seen in various organizations where people tend to state, the boss is always right. Well, if that is your type of culture, well, then you are not driving commitment. You are instead driving compliance by using your authority to influence people. The second point which you need to work on is to empower your team. Is your team empowered to take decisions? Is your team empowered to drive what they feel is best for the organization? Do you have all the power of decision making, or do they? Because it's very easy to give people responsibility, but along with that, you need to give them the accountability, or you need to give them the power to take decisions as well. So how empowered is your team and your organization? The third point, you need to empathize and understand your people. You need to understand what they are going through. You need to be able to connect with them and understand what's happening in their lives, as well as what are the challenges which they are facing. Because if they feel that you understand them, well then they will try to understand you, and they will be loyal and committed towards the organizational decisions and towards the organizational goals and outcomes. And lastly, you need to engage and encourage your team. Engage with them, encourage them, so that everyone is motivated to together be committed toward the goals and outcomes which we want. So if you as a leader feel you need to work on getting more commitment from your team instead of them only complying and listening to what you have to say, well, then connect with me, and I'm sure we can work out either a coaching plan or a training program to help you or empower you to be a more effective leader, to get commitment, not compliance.